So Patrick Mahomes decided that he was going to go for a whole new look. And there's nothing wrong when you want a new look. Sometimes you want to freshen your look up. You might want to revamp yourself, or, it's a therapeutic thing. People are changing their looks all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. However, when you make comments like the ones that he made as to the reasoning as to why he decided to do it, then that's when it can become a problematic issue. And then it makes people look at you with a side eye. So Patrick Mahomes, again, he plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody pretty much knows this by now. He is biracial. He is a product of a black father and a white mother. And they're trying to prop him up as the new golden boy of the NFL, following after Tom Brady. Well, he has made recent headlines because he debuted this new look. Now, the picture on the left is how people traditionally would see Patrick Mahomes, because that's how we've always seen him as. He has the mohawk type of style with the curly top. And we know the hair texture. And I always tell people, if you want to tell if a person is biracial, it's three things you look for. Either the hair, the nose, the wide nose, or those lips. For him, it's definitely the hair. That was, for me, a dead giveaway because of how his hair naturally looks, which is the state that it is on the left. Now on the right is more recent. That's how he looks currently. Now he, went to a barber and he got it cut down, and now this is his new look. And even with that, you can still tell that, there's definitely some melanin coursing through his veins. But towards the comment that he made is what made people look at him like, okay, so we see what type of time he's definitely on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and read this article, and it'll give more context, and then we're gonna go into the quote in which he said that had a lot of people just like, okay, it is what it is. Some people were upset about it. Others was like, we're not surprised. It says Patrick Mahomes debuted a new look, and in the process questioned how he kept the signature curls for so long. Speaking with Kansas City news station KCTV, the Chiefs star player flaunted a lower haircut and explained why he was hesitant to make the chop. He's quoted as saying, "I've wanted to do it for a while, but it was kind of one of those superstitions. I kept winning the Super Bowl, which is a good thing, but I didn't want to cut the hair while I was doing it," detailed the 29-year-old. "I told everybody during the season that win or lose, if we win 3 in a row or if we lose, I'm getting a haircut, like that's enough. I'm very excited. I looked at some videos from last year and I can't believe all of you guys let me keep that nappy hair for so long. Like, I look way better now with the short hair, so I'll be keeping this going forward." If he would have just said what he said without putting the part about the nappy hair part in there, no one would have made a big deal or even spoke about what the comment that he made, because everything that he was saying around that, I didn't have a problem with. But the point where he got to the point about the nappy hair, that's when people started to say something about it. And like I said, either people were outraged by it, like I'm not, because I'm not surprised. I'm in the second category of not being shocked that he did say this. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, Patrick, your hair, and I'm talking about the hair on the left, would not be considered nappy by anybody in the black community, to be quite honest. Like, I'm looking at this texture and I believe that I can't tell the hair textures. Maybe if someone in the chat could tell me what this is. I know they say that there's a 4A, a 4B, and a 4C. I think the 4C is like the more kinky, coarse hair. That's when you can start, quote unquote, calling it nappy or whatever you want to call it. This would not be it. His hair is more loose. So the thing is, he actually has the texture some people wish they could have with the hair, because it wouldn't require that much maintenance. Now, of course, if you don't take care of it, then it can become an issue. But with the texture he has, nobody, and I do mean nobody, would dare call that nappy. I'm just being completely honest with you. But like I've always said, he is the product of a white mother, a black father, and then on top of that, he's married to a white woman. So I won't be surprised if the influence came from one of those two women in his life, probably definitely the one that he's married to, that probably said something to him or whispered something to his ear or said that it was nappy. Because I'm looking at this and there is no way you can sit here and tell me with a straight face that his hair was nappy in that left picture. That's just how that's from my viewpoint. It goes on to say the low fade is not only the new thing the championship winning quarterback has accepted, In the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft on Thursday night, April 24th, the Kansas City Chiefs selected Ohio State offensive tackle Josh Simmons. According to KC Kingdom, Simmons was a projected first-round pick at the beginning of the season before suffering a torn patellar tendon last October. However, Coach Andy Reid said he expected the rookie to be ready for training camp. After the pick was made, Mahomes posted the smiling face with sunglass emoji. So there you have it. Yeah, Patrick, like you could have kept, like I said, everything he said up until that point I was fine with. He could have left the nappy part out, because now people is like, okay, when he says nappy, now people are looking like, okay, you don't like, clearly you don't like the part of the black side of you that's clearly coming out through your hair follicles. That's the part that you clearly don't like, and that's now people are going to associate that with, oh, that's why you cut your hair low. And that goes, you know, I find that to be the same thing that goes with a lot of people who would be considered biracial. Like Vin Diesel's another one. If you look at pictures of Vin Diesel when he was a kid or even a teenager, you can look at him and tell that there was some black definitely in him. Like it was there. I believe that his heritage, I believe he's Italian and black, or black and Italian. And if you didn't know, I think he also has a twin brother as well who I believe is a bouncer or was a bouncer. And if you look at pictures of him back in the day, he had an afro and everything. And then when he got older, he cut his hair low, but you could still see the melanin going, you know, coursing through him. Just look at pictures from him back in the day, or even some of the films he did back in the day before he did Fast and the Furious. And even with the first Fast and the Furious movie, I could look at him and tell. Same thing with The Rock. We all know that he has a black father, Rocky Johnson, and his mother is a Samoan. You know, it goes there. You can throw in Mariah Carey as well if you want to talk about it from a female perspective. Same thing. So yeah, Patrick Mahomes, your hair when it was curly like that, none of us in the black community or as the black collective would have ever dare call that nappy. I'm just saying. All he had to do was get a sponge brush, you know, moisturize it, you know, whip that thing around a little bit and be sent on your way. And I promise you, no one would have dared call that nappy. Even people who had to take care of it maintenance wise, whether it had been you or somebody else, wouldn't have dared call that nappy. If you have even asked somebody, would you consider my hair nappy, they would tell you no. I promise you that. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.